Hey YouTube, it's Weird Paul. I want to thank all my new subscribers for coming on board, and I would also like to thank the Retroist and Kotaku.com for introducing you all to my channel. I got so many likes and comments on my Commodore 64 video that it's clear that you all want to see some more. So I'll be making another video about some of the other programs on the disc, but today we're just going to take a look at that Star Wars game. Since this is a text-based game, it might be boring to just show the screen the whole time, so I thought we'd liven the video up with some of the figures in my vintage Star Wars collection. So keep in mind, I was probably only 12 when I made this game, so don't expect to be impressed or you're just going to be disappointed. The actual name of this game is Jedi, so we're just going to load Jedi here. Okay, so let's run it. Return to a galaxy far, far away. You are Luke Skywalker. You are trying to become a Jedi. Want to go to Dagobah to see someone? Or do you want to talk with Han? So you press either D or H, depending on which thing you want to do. So let's talk to Han. It says, Han greets you and says, I think Jabba is after me. You say, don't worry, I'm here. He laughs. Just then, Klaatu and a Weequay, two of Jabba's guards, come in with laser guns. Will you stay or run? So if you decide to stay, the last thing you see is Klaatu's sword directly over your head. Instead, if you run, you are glad you ran, but wonder what will happen to Han. You don't care too much about him, I guess. You land your X-Wing and R2 beeps. A small green man greets you and says, who do you seek? You reply, a Jedi Master. He says, you seek Yoda, but do you want me to take you to him? So you don't know that he's Yoda yet, so if you choose no, he says, bye, and just as you say, bye, a large pair of teeth come down on your head. It's never made clear exactly who is munching on your skull, but I guess that's the end of the game. So if you say, yes, take me to see Yoda, he says, I'm Yoda. You say, you? He says, yes, but first, do you want to learn to levitate or use your lightsaber? So if you choose levitate, he says the trick is to think about levitating and use the Force. Try it. You do, and it works. You say, tell me about my lightsaber. He says, just aim and use the Force. Do not underestimate its power. Use the Force. You say, tell me more. He says, for now, there is nothing else to say. Bye. And with that, you leave. It's a pretty quick goodbye there. Now you decide if you want to go to Bespin or to talk with Leia. If you choose to talk with Leia, Leia says, what's been happening? You say, two of Jabba's guards took Han away. Leia says, oh no. All of a sudden, Han runs up. He says, I ran away after blasting Klaatu. I heard Jabba say I would soon be needing a heater. You think carbon freezing. Han says, I better run. I don't want to get caught again. You, Leia, Han, and the droids all fly to Bespin. On your way, you get a swarm of TIE fighters on your tail. This is a part in the game where you're supposed to press F to fire at the TIE fighters, but you can press any letter. For instance, I'll press G and we can still do it. You yell, I got him! Han says, great kid, don't get cocky. A man named Lobot greets you and says, Lando Calrissian is coming. You hear his mind and he thinks, Darth is making me hire bounty hunters to capture Han and freeze him, and give him to Jabba. Do you act now or wait? So if you choose to act now, Lando pulls out a pistol and kills you. A pistol! If you choose to wait, you may have another chance later. You also hear Lando think, Darth is here now. You think Yoda said, I am ready. I will kill Vader with my lightsaber. Later, Leia goes to look at some art on Bespin, and Han goes somewhere else. You get your lightsaber and sense Vader is in the main reactor room. You go in, and there is Vader with his lightsaber. Will you swing to your right or your left? Alright, so if we choose to swing to the right, you see Vader's lightsaber hit your neck. So if you swing to the left, Vader's lightsaber hits your arm. Your hand falls into the abyss. He says, I guess Obi-Wan never told you the truth about your father. You say, he told me enough. He told me that you killed him. Vader says, no, I am your father. You scream, no! He then leaves. You get out, and just as you leave, a small screen pops up, and it says Y or N. There are Y and N keys on the screen. Which? So if you choose the Y key, you have to get some paper and write this down. And there's a number here. It's an 8-digit number. So we're going to write it down here. Okay, it says, you will use this later. You leave to get an electronic hand. An electronic hand. In the room where you get your limb replaced, you listen through the wall. you hear Lando and Darth and several bounty hunters, of whose names are mentioned to be Bossk, Dengar, IG-88, Forlong, Zuckuss, and the most fearsome bounty hunter, Boba Fett. You hear Darth saying, "I will reward the one who brings me Han Solo." You hear Boba Fett say, "I will." Will you rush in now, or again wait? So if you rush in, which is always a bad idea, Darth yells, "Get him!" and Boba Fett points his gun. If you decide to wait, you think, they could kill me if I went in. I better wait, but it would be wise to tell Han and Leia. So will you first tell Han or Leia? So if you choose to tell Han first, you tell Han, and as he usually does, he goes off to find the person ignoring your protests. It looks like you both just got in a lot of trouble. If you choose Leia, then Leia says, "We must tell Han, then we must all leave." "Not right away," you say. "We have been invited to a feast first." "Yeah, Han's life's in jeopardy, but I'm hungry, so let's go eat." You all go to the feast. After telling Han, when you enter, you see not only Lando, but Boba and Darth as well. Han fires at Darth, but Darth ricochets it. They go to freeze Han. Lando suddenly switches sides and yells, "We haven't much time, let's escape." Will you and the others go with him, or not? Yes or no? So if you don't go with him, Darth and Boba kill you as Lando takes off in a pod car. So if you choose to go with Lando, you escape just in time as Slave 1 flies off. Now that was the end of the first half of the game. Now the screen says, "Directing Return of the Jedi." It says, would you like to quit and just be a Jedi cadet, or go on to become the Supreme Jedi? If you choose to remain a cadet, the game just ends. If you choose to be the Supreme Jedi, you're on Tatooine putting your lightsaber into R2. And the game ends. So, much to my surprise, after not having seen this game for 20 years, this game is not really complete. I was going to go and finish it all the way through Return of the Jedi, but I didn't. Why didn't I finish the game? Well, for one thing, the disc was almost full. Maybe I didn't have any more space to keep working on it. Or maybe I just got bored. The only thing I really want to know is, what am I supposed to do with this? So thanks a lot for joining me and checking out my 1983 Star Wars Homebrew Commodore 64 game. I'll have more great videos coming up, including a look at some more of the programs on that disc. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. See you soon, YouTube.